Are back. Part two of the Wounds book launch party. I will repeat that a few times as people are trickling in. I know that I am asking a lot of some of you, probably most of you, to jump into a live stream 3 different times throughout the day. Um, but I want to take a few minutes. So this is maybe going to be a little bit of a condensed version. But by the way, if you hang out the whole time, I got a really cool giveaway at the end. This is going to be 20 minutes long. So at 11:50 Pacific time, just before that, I'm going to be announcing that giveaway. And I'm still trying to put that all together in my head. So just hang out. Hopefully you can make it to the end. You won't be able to access the giveaway if it's a recording. So just hang out and bear with me. The first part of our book launch party today, I talked about the why behind the book. I shared some stories with you all as it relates to why I wrote the book, how I got to the place that I did, a few different things that influenced me along the way. And that was super cool. Quite a few people jumped in and were sharing encouraging words, had some insight to give. So appreciative of that. I can't tell you how excited I am that people are willing to participate, to be here. I did want to give you an update. So we are just about halfway through the day on Pacific time, and we are probably about a third of the way to the book sale goal. My goal is to sell 250 books today. 250 total books today is the goal. I think that will get us into #1 bestseller status in a couple of categories on Amazon, which would be absolutely amazing. But beyond that, I shared in the first session that the average author sells 250 books lifetime. Lifetime do they sell 250 books. I want to do that today. It's kind of crazy to think that that's a possibility, but I would love to try and make that happen. But I can't do that. If I could just buy all the books, that would defeat the purpose. So it's going to require you helping me out. You buying a book or two to give as a gift, you sharing with friends, family, people on social media. If you need those assets, you can go follow us on any one of our social channels, particularly LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, and you can grab an asset there. But I would really appreciate you jumping in and supporting my race to 250. We are moving into the top 100. I'm looking right now, moving into the top 100 in all 3 categories that my book is listed under for on Amazon. So that's pretty incredible. If you are here, by the way, on any one of the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, whether on the business page, in the group, you are following on LinkedIn, just say hi. I would love to see you pop in, drop a comment, jump into the chat. I would just love to know that you're here, acknowledge that you're here, especially because this part 2 is talking about gratitude, about just being thankful. I've tried to just share my thanks throughout the morning, particularly on Instagram. It's really easy to do that with stories. If you're not following me on Instagram, you can do that. My handle is at RJM Sales Pro, SALESPRO. You can go there. You can follow me. You can just see all the people that have been just sharing amazing words of encouragement and support, their own bits of gratitude. It's been pretty amazing. So I'm super thankful for that. But I wanted to take some time in this particular session just to give some shout outs of thanks because there is no way that I would be able to have written this book without a few key people. And the first one that comes to mind for me, so when you get a copy of my book, you are going to read. Now, let me preface this by saying there are quite a few acknowledgments in the back of the book. First to my wife, to my kids, to some of my family and friends. And so all of them, I'm just so grateful for the contributions to my life and to this journey for sure. This is more specifically speaking to the book, but I think that this was an important thing for me to share. So the first person that comes to mind is the gentleman that contributed to writing the foreword for my book. One of my best friends in the whole wide world. His name is John Welch's. I had the fortune to sit next to John at a networking event back in 2013. I was a part of a referral organization called BNI, Business Networkers International. I was a part of a specific chapter. I went to visit another chapter. I got there, just happened to randomly sit down in a chair around the big table, and I sat right next to John. And we had some conversation that led to a consultation. He was looking to grow his business and wanted to hire a sales coach. And we began working together. From there, by God's grace, we were able to build his business, which has been awesome. He's now running an extremely successful content and digital marketing agency, working for some of the most prolific universities in the state of California, some large energy companies. Just it's been incredible to see the growth that John has had in his business. I'm grateful to have been a small speck of a contribution to that, but that was a part of it. But more importantly, we just developed a friendship, and John has been there through some of the most pivotal moments of my life. I remember specifically post Route 91 in early mid 2018, I think it was. I was getting ready to get on stage to speak at a conference, a couple hundred people in the room. And about 5 minutes before, I got a text message from my wife, maybe 10 minutes. And there had been another shooting up in Northern California. My wife was really, really struggling and was struggling that I was away and she was home with the kids. And it just brought back all these memories from Route 91. And man, I didn't know what to do. In the moment, I just wanted to hop on the next flight and fly home and skip the keynote altogether. And I remember texting John and just asking him to pray for me. He called me, he prayed for me, and I was able to get up and deliver the keynote. And that's just the kind of friend that John has been to me all these years. I'm fortunate to office with him and have for the better part of the last 5 years. We spent personal time together. Our families have spent time together. He's just an incredible human being, and there are few better men in this world than him. And so, and as it relates specifically to my book, and in addition to just influencing me to this point in life, um, he was really the one that got me going, wanting to write in the first place, or the one that helped me to take action. We had a challenge going. I think I shared this earlier, but we had a challenge going to write 500 words a day. And I got through 15,000 words of a book that will probably never see the light of day. But that was in large part because John helped me to get started. His name, I'm proud to say, will forever be imprinted into my book in that foreword. He wrote such meaningful words. I can't wait for you to read those. Anyway, so he's one person that I'm super, super duper grateful for. There's two other guys that will get no public notoriety for this book, but I want to give it to them. So as many of you know, I had hired a publisher by the name of Scribe Media. They were well known for publishing both of David Goggins' books, Can't Hurt Me and Never Finished. And so I was referred to them through LinkedIn. I went out to Austin, Texas back in early 2022 to be part of their author workshop. I joined together with a cohort with three actually amazing women who I'm still connected to this day to, I am just so grateful for all they've done to just encourage me and help me get this thing over the finish line. But Scribe was good for a while, and then Scribe went bankrupt. And in those last days, which just happened about 2 months ago, we were freaking out. I mean, I was at that time 6 weeks from publishing. We ended up having to push the date back to today. But we were 6 weeks from publishing, and we were screwed. It was basically at that point, like everything was going to be done. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I guess I can because I paid them and they owed me something. So I reached out to one of the project managers that I had met at Scribe by the name of Kaz. I'd met him at the author cohort, or at the author workshop in Austin. He was a great guy. I actually had some one-to-one time with him. He really encouraged me. during that time. We had chit chatted a few different times back and forth through our forum, group forum and things like that. Anyway, so I reached out to Chaz and asked him if he could get a hold of any finished product that I had to that point. And I am so thankful that he got me my manuscript that was 98% done. Like I had written it. It was supposed to be in final proof editing, which never got done, but he got me those files. He got me design files for the stuff that was designed to that point. If not for Chaz, there's no way I would have published now. I mean, I had a lot of my material, but he helped me so much in his last days at Scribe and in the last days of Scribe's existence. So incredibly grateful for him. So Chaz Hop, thank you, man. I mean, you did me a solid that I'll never be able to repay. Equally such, shortly after Scribe crumbled, and we were left, all of the authors that were in process left with nothing to be able to, no place to go. A gentleman by the name of Hussein Al-Beidi, I think that's how you say his last name. I should have asked him that in all the times we've talked now. He stepped up to put together a community of the ex-employees of Scribe that were good and wanted to do good work, and they were kind of hung out to dry. The contractors that were supporting Scribe that were hung out to dry, and all the authors that were hung out to dry. It basically just created this community of individuals that that we're all just looking to connect to try and finish projects, to continue to provide for their families, all of that. And Hussein got me going so quickly. It was just such an incredible blessing. He quickly jumped into action. He connected me with a couple of just awesome people that were able to help me finish my book. And those three people, for some reason, I wasn't planning to mention them by name, but I'm going to. So Rose Friel, she kind of project managed getting this thing over the finish line. She is amazing. If you want to connect with somebody that can help point you in the direction of getting your book published, she's a great place to start. Olivia Hammerman, man, she took all of my words and she put them into a finished product. She helped me with the final moments of editing. She did all of my interior and exterior layout. She was super patient with my ignorance. She was incredible. And so every design element that you see is in large part because of Olivia. And I'm so grateful for her. And finally, Christian Duffner. That guy's probably going to get the least credit of all, and I want to give him so much. He was the one responsible for making sure that the book got uploaded to the distributors, Amazon and the others, so people could buy the book today and hopefully for many years to come. Man, he grinded it out. There were things that we just got stuck on that were just really screwy, and Christian went over and above, working on weekends and late at night, taking calls on my behalf. He was an incredible human being through this process. He is an incredible human being, and I'm super thankful for him. So, and those three people I would not have met. I would not have been able to get my book over the finish line knowing those three people without Hussein's help. And so again, just thank you, Hussein, for your contribution to this book. And then there's three final people that I want to mention by name. And again, like, why am I saying all this? Well, first of all, because I want names to be known. I want people to know that something like this is not done by one person. I want people to know that there are incredible human beings in a world that we live in today, in which there is so much negativity, there is so much division. I want to show you that there are good people out there doing good work to contribute positively to this world. And so there are three other people that I just want to make mention of. So the first one is a gentleman by the name of Dean Del Sesto. Dean has been a mentor, a friend. Dean helped to resurrect my business back in 2013 when it was struggling desperately. He's walked with me through some very, very tough times. He's been a great mentor spiritually, relationally. Dean is one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met in my life. And if I can ever be a fraction of the man that Dean is, I, I will be so grateful. But I'm grateful for his friendship, and I'm grateful for who he is as a man of Christ, the way he is as a husband. So when I was thinking of people to write a blurb for the back of my book or for the inside of my book, for if you're reading the paperback, Dean was the first person that came to mind. Not because I knew he would say good things about me, but because I knew he would speak the truth. And he's a man of integrity, and there was nobody else that I wanted but him. Secondly, is a guy by the name of Alan Frau. If Alan was saying this, he would say a guy called Alan Frau because Alan is from South Africa. And I guess there you don't say people name, you say people called. And so that's Al's. Anyway, so I met Al as I was transitioning, before I was planning to, but as I was transitioning out of pastoral ministry. And there is my ninth chapter of the book talks a bit about this and talks about my interactions with Al. But being hurt, broken, my family being broken, just so many things that we were dealing with, considering, and then ultimately stepping out of pastoral ministry. Al was there, but not to judge, not to make me make a decision, but to lead me to follow Christ, to pray, to seek. And then as I stepped into just becoming a attendee and then ultimately a member of Al's, the church that Al leads here in Brea, California, called Southlands Church, Al has been there to help restore my life. Man, he is an incredible man of God. And I love him dearly. And I'm grateful for all the ways that he's poured into me. He's poured into Michelle, into my girls, into my daughter's boyfriend, and just watching the way that my daughter's boyfriend Alex has come to faith in the most incredible way, and that's in large part because of just Al's heart. And so Al, I asked him to write a blurb for the back of the book, and he obviously obliged because his name is there. But I just can't thank him enough. The blurb is great. But the contribution to my life is second to none. Second to none. Um, and then this is more of just kind of a cool one. He may never hear this, but I'm going to try and make sure that he does. So some of you, if you listen to my podcast, know that midway through last season, as I was doing a season on masculinity and manhood, I ended up having a guest on my show by the name of John Eldridge. John is one of the most influential individuals in Christianity today. He is most well known for him authoring Wild at Heart. He's written books called Resilient. He's written books called Get Your Life Back. A book called that we're getting ready to go through as a men's group at church called Fathered by God. And John is one of the most incredible men. He is just it's wild how he is one of the most kind, sensitive, and gracious men, and also one of the most manly men I've ever met. Like, I interviewed him on for my podcast, and he had a sword hanging in the back of his on his back wall. Anyway, so I recorded an episode with John, and we when we hung up, or when we stopped recording, we were just chit-chatting a little bit as the recording was finishing uploading, and I was telling him, just how much of an influence he's had on me as I was writing my book. This has been a couple of months now, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, you're writing a book." He goes, "I'd love to write a recommendation." And I was like, "What? Like, you are one of the most well-known people in all of Christianity, and you want to contribute to my book?" And I was like, maybe he's just saying that because he wants to be nice. And so I thanked him. We had a great finish to the conversation. He said some kind words, and I thanked him again, and we hung up. I reached out to his assistant to thank her for him recording, followed up on the possibility of him writing that recommendation, and he did. And in just a few simple sentences, the way that I think only John Eldredge could do, he just so captured what I was hopeful for. And I'm so proud that he was willing to put his name on my story. And so he's influenced me in his writings in just amazing ways. Between Wild at Heart and Get Your Life Back, there are a few books that have had the kind of influence on me that those have had. But just my hour with him on the podcast and then his contribution to my book, I will forever be grateful for and indebted to him. Anyway, so I'm just so grateful. I'm so thankful. This has been such an exciting day. We're going to do this one more time. Don't go anywhere, because I'm going to do a giveaway, and you're going to have to want to hear this right now. So here's what I want to do for this giveaway, because I think that one of the ways to be grateful is to give and to show gratitude to other people. So I am going to grab, I have copies of a few books in my office that I want to give away to somebody. So I am going to give away for this specific giveaway, and I'm going to tell you how to redeem this in just a second. So you're going to have to be live because it's going to be quick. So here's what I'm going to give. I'm going to give a signed copy of my book, Wounds, How Hurt, Heartache, and Tragedy Become the Keys to Unlocking Greatness. Can't not give my own book away, I guess. And I hope you want one signed. So we're going to do that. I'm going to give away a copy of Alan Frau's newest book called Psalms for a Saturated Soul. So that will be included in this. I'm going to give away a copy of Get Your Life Back by John Eldredge, because I believe that is a fantastic book in the day and age that we are living in. So I'm going to give away a 3-pack. Those 3 books are going to come to you as a way of saying thank you for being a part of this specific live. But one more thing. I am also going to include in there a $50 Amazon gift card. I'm gonna have to write this one down so I don't forget all that stuff that I'm giving away. I'm gonna also give away a $50 Amazon gift card, and so you can hopefully buy some other books that will positively contribute to your life. Okay, so you ready for how you're gonna win this? Hopefully you're out there listening. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, you're here. So what I want you to do in order to win this, what I want to see from you is I want you to email ryan@ryanjamesmiller.com. But here is what you're going to have to email. And I know there's got to be a catch. There's got to be a catch. There's a catch. A couple of them. Number one, you have to email me a copy of you purchasing a copy of my book today. Kindle, paperback, hardback, doesn't matter. Okay, that's got to be included. Additionally, I need an address. So those 2 things have to be there. And the final thing that I want you to contribute is the title of the most influential book you've read to this point in your life. There you go. Email me. First person that's in my inbox, you're going to win. So it's a race to that right now. Hopefully it's you. Make sure to include your name, your address, and the book that's influenced you most in your life. Fire away. You get a copy of those books and an Amazon gift card. It'll come out in a couple of days. Come back at 1 o'clock Pacific time. I'm going to be teaching during that live some practical principles around the wound analysis framework and ways that you can apply that to your life right now, today. Peace, peace. Oh, go buy a book. Share the book. Come on. We got to get to 250 copies. You can help me get there. Let's go.